All right. Well, you guys, I always look forward to these times where we get to just glean from each other in this journey. It's such a beautiful journey. I mean, can you believe it? I'm in awe just that we get to do this inner work together and beautiful. So I didn't catch Julie's live this morning, but just curious how things are going. I know we heard from Dana here a little bit. She's been vibrating high because of all of the goodness that God has brought across her path. She just came back from her direct sales convention. So yeah, feel free to share some of the personal ahas and blessings. I would love to.
I can share.
Okay.
I mean, it was such a kick in the gut at the end of last week when Julie said, "Hey, so if you're doing more than one business," and I was like, "Oh my gosh." Remember when she sent that post? And it was really hard. I actually, excuse me, for a couple of days, I was in mourning about, should I let this go? Should I let this go? And to be honest, I haven't told my network marketing group yet, but as I started to allow the possibility of that going away, I realized how draining it's been on me and that it hasn't been a positive experience. And I know, like in your life, it's a very positive experience and you do really well with it, which is great. But it just has not, and I'm on a very powerful team with a couple of millionaires and, you know, the shiny objects kind of thing. But to be honest, I've never liked it. So as I'm allowing myself to open myself to hearing those thoughts, if that makes sense, it's been like a death. It's been like a death. I love the people. I love that community. And I find myself, oh, okay, then I'll ride on the coattails of this community and just pour into this more because that's really who I am. And it's taken me all over the place. But I think the most important thing is if you have, I have something I really want to share with you guys. I love this. I love this. And I actually thought of Lisa. Have you ever heard of Michael Beckwith? He's a pastor in the LA area. He's a real frontiers person in the type of work that we're doing. He's been at it for several years. And one of the things he said, in fact, I picked this up from a Bob Proctor video that I was watching on YouTube. And he loves Michael Beckwith. And he said, you know, I've never forgotten this one thing that he said. He has lots of quotes, but harvest the good, forgive all the rest. Isn't that just, I don't know, that just takes my heart. It makes it so simple. And so I've been saying that over and over because of walking through kind of the mourning of this. It's like, I don't want to mourn this. I don't want to mourn it. I want to put some grace around it and know that it's all part of the growth. And I think in doing this work also, it's hugely important to ask for ease. You know, we don't have to make it so monumentally difficult because we're not alone. We have to keep turning it over. And I think that what we do also is, okay, we're in this growth part. At least is what I do. And I don't necessarily let go and let that process sort of do what it needs to do. I feel like I have to, you know, embrace this and make it this and make it that. And when I got that visual of watering the weeds and showering them with love, and that visual was just like, bing. So anyway, I could go on for days here, and I'll stop. But it's been a week.
Wow, that is, I want to be mindful of the outside noise, so I'm muting in between my breaths here. That's the reason. Um, I totally can, get the mourning the death, because it is the people, it's the relationships, it's all of that. And I mean, it becomes another family, it really does, especially if you pour yourself in like you, I'm sure, have, to your direct sales company. But I think it's this is the growth piece, this is where the more we listen, the more we become honest with ourselves, and we get in touch with what's really our purpose and passion. And if it's not in alignment, I think that's the word that, it has been resonating with me, are two big words. If it's not in alignment with what you really feel is your purpose and passion, it's probably a weight that's holding you back from God opening a new door that you don't even know about yet,
Right.
or a new facet to what you're doing right now.
Yeah, that's really well said, Lisa, because we don't know. And that's actually, instead of being afraid of that, it's kind of exciting. And it's exciting because we are shifting the paradigm, and we are shifting our energetic vibration, and that can only bring good. It's not going to take us, into the valley of death, so to speak. It propels us.
I think of the assumption and letting the infinite co-create with us, as we're going through these things. For me, it's about, at the beginning of the year, what's helped me begin this journey is let God prevail. So allowing myself to give up some control, and that it's all on me, and that like everything is so heavy, but it's not so heavy when there's somebody with us, walking alongside us and guiding us, and to allow, to have courage to allow God to co-create with us, and to invite him into our lives, and not just from circumstance to circumstance, but from minute to minute. My work has really been on the spiritual side and getting in harmony. And it's definitely a process, but I'm so grateful that I'm choosing to not feel alone, and to beat myself up. And why am I not good enough? And all those things that we're learning about in the self-image I can totally see the past 4 years of my life that I was totally beating myself up, that my results were because of what I thought about myself and what I chose to think what other people thought about me. And I'm a failure, that I'm not good enough, that, I have all this experience. Why am I not winning? And when I asked to let go of all that, and to let God prevail in my life, all of this has come to me. Like, That was at the beginning of the year in January, February. And then Ignite came in. People in the church came in, people in my community, like the people and the things that I needed to let him prevail and to learn how to do that on a minute-to-minute basis has come to me. And I'm in awe of his grace that he allows. I don't know, sorry. I always seem to end up crying on this. But I have been just in chills, and I just felt like I've been walking alongside of him, especially this week. So I don't know. I feel that I'm behind, you know, that, okay, I need to do the affirmations. I need to get in front of the mirror. I need to do it's all the needs to, and trying to give yourself permission, like, it's okay, you are where you're supposed to be, is challenging. So even though I feel like they're with, you know, I'm with God, I still working through those little things of, but I'm not doing this, but I'm not doing this. And oh, how much further could I be if I was doing all the little things that is outlined? But they will come. They will come in its time, and to be patient with the process and to stop asking the why or the how, but in situations like, why is this happening? Why do I have to go through this? But asking what am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to bring to other people through this experience? So that's something that's really resonated with me, is stop asking the why or the how, because that's in God's hands, but just to ask the what, that the what would be revealed. What am I supposed to learn? Who am I supposed to be? I don't know if any of that makes sense, but sorry, I'm rambling.
It makes total sense. The picture that I have, and I haven't done a post about it in Ignite You, but God gave me a visual, and it's the difference between like this, like I think most of my life, like literally most of my life, I have been like this. I have been striving. I've been trying to climb the ladder, trying to make sure that, you know, I'm moving ahead, doing what I need to do to better myself, to be the better wife, to be the better parent, to be the, you know, queen of whatever I am in my direct sales business, you know, like just like this is the picture I picture. And it's like, and I enjoy the climb, mind you, but it's like this. And the difference is this. It's this receiving. And I came across a word because like I'm like, striving, what's the opposite of striving? Because this is like my old paradigm, striving for outward recognition, the achievement, the satisfaction that I'm good enough, all of the striving. And this is abiding. And I found a song called Abide. It's perfect. And there's a bridge in it that says, you know, no more striving, I'm abiding, or something like this. Like, it's like, that's my word. So I have been meditating on the word abide, because in my head, in my heart, abide is that place of receiving. It's co-creating. It's being one with God, and receiving clarity, direction, you know, all of that is all because we're abiding. We're not just checking off the list, reading our Bible, doing all the do's like I used to be, thinking that that was like the good Christian girl action to do. But this whole abiding, it's honestly, I've been I've been walking with God for a long time, and this is a totally different way to walk with God. So I don't know if that helps at all, but I think that's the difference is between this and this. Like, it's a posture. It's so life changing. And I find myself wanting to go back to this because this is my old paradigm. You know, this is what I'm used to. This is my comfort zone. Like, just do it, Lisa. And God's saying, no, this is your new posture. Just abide. And I will show you what to do, and it will be easy. That ease, you know, like Lauren, you said, it should come with ease. When we're abiding, it's ease. There isn't the unrest of this.
I love that, Lisa. That's awesome. Actually, one of my roommates had abide tattooed on her arm. Just so beautiful. It is supposed to be with ease. You know, we try to fight that, and it's really given me that picture in my head of all those of this is from the adversary. The people that are important to reach others and to help others and to be of service and to share the light, and that's who the adversary is coming after. You know, he's going to challenge us in different ways and in stronger ways because of our importance to his greater work. And if he can conquer us, that's a really good trophy on his wall. If he can conquer the ones that really mean something, and we all do, it's just the ones that are choosing, but that's a good trophy for him. Other than the ones that aren't abiding. I had to share that with my, I have a friend right now that's in a really dark place. And I said, well, you can't let him win. You can't be a trophy on his wall. Can't let that happen. You're still on mute, Lisa.
So, yeah, thanks for telling me that. They're
I was talking away. Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
So I was just curious, like, comments, how are things going? Marie, Colleen, I know your connection you said isn't the best and that loud noises around me. So I would love to know.
Ask one more time. I'm sorry.
Hi, is Colleen talking or? Oh, hi, girls. I love hearing your shares, and I love this group because we can be vulnerable, and I can relate to each of you to some respect of what you're saying. So thank you for that. So I think my big thing right now, I'm super excited to get into lesson 6. I've come up with this big question in my head. So I'm in network marketing, and my upline, she just has a vision for me that she can see me moving up in the company because I moved up already. And so she's there to support me. And my big, I guess I'm going to call it block right now as I talk this through, because, you know, it's very like fresh, like in my head. But so what, I think this is an old belief, but my resistance to moving up is I don't want to take the fun out of the network marketing, like, because I'm having fun right now. But I stopped myself for a second and thought, okay, is that my limiter? Is that my paradigm? Is that an old belief that if I move up, it's not going to be fun? I have had some experiences with people above me that were like this, as Lisa puts it, and were strong holding the crud out of close day and like just sucking every dime out of every family member they could just to make it, like, and that's like so not me in every kind of the way. But you know, I know it doesn't have to be like that. But so it's just interesting because these lessons challenge me, right? Like I can stop and go, is this an old paradigm? Is this an old story? Like I get to make this what I want. And you know, that's just kind of where my headspace is these last few days. I just wanted to share that because I think this lesson is really going to negate some of these decisions for me. It's just crazy how you get little teeny little breadcrumbs of info that pop up that kind of leads you, and I just need to like listen more. And I think I need to spend some more quiet time with myself, and I think the lessons are going to direct me into some thoughts. I don't know. I mean, when I started my self-growth journey, you know, a few years back, I mean, the big chunk of my first like aha was I've been living my whole life in fear, like my whole life in fear. So then that's unraveled into like lots of different aspects and parts of my life. But I always ask myself that question first, because I know that that was something that was limiting me for so many years. Is this fear? Is this something else, right? Is this an excuse? Oh, it's not going to be fun if I try to expand. Like, who's to say it's not going to be super fun if I expand and like go for it, right? But I've seen other people, and that's where we can't compare, right? And I don't want it to be fear-based, but I don't know, how do you know if it's fear-based or if you really think that it's just not fun? You know what I mean? Like, how do you know? Like, I would love some feedback from you girls.
I think you know. I think you've answered your own, like you said a minute ago, that it can be fun if I want it to.
Yeah.
Like it is a choice. And I, you know, I have those fears too. Like coming back into network marketing after a 10-year hiatus, and the first when I was in network marketing for 10 years, and then I left for 10 years, and now I'm back. And I didn't have an interest in coming back to direct sales because of those fears of different things. And I was talking to somebody about it, and she said, well, who says it has to be the same as my previous experience? Like, aren't we supposed to learn from that and change? So that's like what I'm trying to focus on, is this time I'm doing it different. And I'm going to have it the way I'm guided and I want it to be. So I think just like creating our life story and that script, maybe that's where that starts for you, is to write down what you want it to be. And when you come into those decisions or choices, if it doesn't serve that script purpose, then it goes away. You know,
I'd
and
like to add to that, Marie. I would look at it, of course, I'm the energy girl, but I would look at this from an energetic perspective. The fun factor, when we're having fun in our lives, we're totally in our hearts. And so you've been having a lot of fun with this. And there are people in levels higher than you that are having fun with this still, that are riding that wonderful energy vibration of the fun factor. And in the process of riding that vibration, you're bringing in people who also like to have fun. So when those folks are maybe training you that are in that more of this place that Lisa was talking about, you just are very aware of that. And you say, well, I'm taking the message, but I'm not taking your energy. Because my energy is this. And the more you step into that, more powerful that becomes for you. And I really like that about you. I mean, when you just started talking a few minutes ago, I was reading your energy and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so refreshing. So don't lose that. And you can keep in your refreshed space. I'm sure Lisa has plenty to say about this, but you can stay in that in the beauty of that lovely energy of yours that has exuberance and fun. And it's like, why would you change that? You don't change it. It just becomes bigger. And I can feel that in your heart.
Energy perspectives. I love your energy perspectives. And I've been leaning in, like I've been drawn toward energy work. I've been drawn toward actually a course on, pains in your body and when that it's energy, it's actually energy. I just actually signed up for a course and then got this, the mind body prescription, healing the body, healing the pain. I was just referred to, I don't know, this is all new to me, but I'm loving your perspectives on that, because I'm being drawn toward the energy side of it big time. And
I can feel that in you. And one more thing I just want to add to that, and then I'll be quiet. But when you're in that real heart space, which is a beautiful energy space, and you go into your head, which can be this, you can't have this when you're in your heart. It's impossible. So that's not there. And when you go there, you're in your head and it's like your head is in a vice and you're trying to follow the rules and do this. And oh, it's, month end, and you go here. So just be cognizant of that. I'd love to hear what Lisa has to say about this, but I'm really glad that you're paying attention to your energy, because you have beautiful energy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And Dana, that's why I love this group. Like you can share this stuff and then people, all you are like respond. Got a call where we're at. So I feel like you get me. So thank you to Dana for your comments. I loved what you said. Loved it. Because we're supposed to make it what we want, not compare ourselves, because we're only us. We can only bring us, and otherwise you're working from the outside in again, right? And that just doesn't work.
You are exactly right. And it's no fun, right? I mean, that's when you get drained of energy, when you're working from the outside in. What you guys shared, I mean, I don't think I have any magic pill to add, but the one thought that I had was, your vibe attracts your tribe, so your vibe that you're giving off is going to attract like-minded people that want to have fun, that want to, not get all serious about month end and all of the things, and so I think back to like the people that have joined my team, and we're we're not the same person. We don't have exact same personalities, but there are some core values that I have in the people of my team, because I'm showing up as me, and I'm attracting like-minded people. And as we grow, I think we we're going to be more in tune with who we want to attract, you know, like being more consciously aware. Oh, so, you know, am I attracting the people that really I want to attract, or am I just, you know, settling for, you know, the kidnapper, or, you know, how I'm presenting myself? You know, that's the vibe that I'm going to give off. So I think it's super exciting that you're pivoting and, you know, contemplating this whole leadership, promotion, all of the things, growing a team, because we need more people like you in direct sales that aren't all about this. Like, you're like a breath of fresh air, you know, seriously.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and when it's all about you, like, I mean, I can think of a couple people in LeBri that, you know, they go up on stage over and over and over again, and it's all about them, and you're like, you know, like, enough, please, you know, like, let's hear from somebody else, because that's the vibe that they're giving off. But I've had other people go up on stage and you just sense that their heart is all about helping their team. And it's not about their status, and, you know, it's not about them. That's a different vibe. So you get to choose the leader that you want to be,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm sorry.
You keep having fun, Marie, and you're going to attract other fun people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that makes sense. Like, you can feel people's energy when they walk in the room, or if you're right, if they're on the stage, you feel each person's energy, however they're giving it, right? I had, can I ask Lauren a question, if you don't mind, Lauren? I've been suffering from vertigo, and I have gone for almost 3 years suffering from vertigo, and I'm trying to disconnect that I have vertigo. I'm just dealing with some energy at this point because I've had no answers. Do you have any experience with that, Lauren?
What I can tell you is, as I tune into you, there is something that happened in your childhood that has been coming up for you, and it's manifesting through the vertigo, and it's ready to come up and out. So it's been sort of sitting midpoint. Does that sound right to you? And you're kind of keeping it here because you're afraid to let it come up. That's what I'm picking up around it. Is that resonating at all? It's kind of a hard thing, but you don't have to answer it, but that's what I'm seeing for you.
I'm going to sit with that and meditate on it. And I think it's still the fears holding me back. Because I think when I try to address my why, like my why am I doing what I'm doing? I'm a little not unclear, and I need to be more clear. I do have my seagull written out, but that's like my fantasy, my big thing. But I think that there's something emotional attached here. Like,
yeah, there is.
I want to be
pretty strong.
It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Like I want to prove to myself I can do hard things. And that's why I'm excited about like lesson 6. Not sure what just happened there. I feel like I need to prove to myself instead of like I was like Lisa, where I was always a people pleaser and trying to get validation my whole life. I think
That's why your childhood is dialing into this. You know, when I said you're kind of in, it's starting to come up, but you're keeping it here. And you just said, oh, my whole life I've been a people pleaser. And this is going back to some things that you were told as a child. And you're very energy sensitive. And what happens when you are, I mean, then you take that, especially as a child, you take that in, it's almost harder. You take it in harder. And you're more ruled by it. So I know you were told as a child that you were too sensitive. I'm so clear about that. And so you've been trying to get around that, but there's some other things that need to be unpacked for you to really be free of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's when I go to sleep at night, I try to work with that energy and try to set the intention that I'm going to get some clarity of the pain in my body or the vertigo, or like to give me some clarity and release this pain, because I know it's trying to protect me in some way, but I just don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what yet. Thank you, Lauren.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope you find that for yourself.
Thank you, girls.
Oh, our pleasure. Our pleasure. I mean, and we're all on a journey, right? We're all on this journey, and we all have things from our past that are paradigms. You know, Bob Proctor's been working for 87 years on his paradigms, you know, so but I do agree, like my cancer journey is very much linked to stress and this over what am I gonna say, unhealthy taking on other people's responsibilities, thinking that if I just fixed myself more, then, you know, my marriage would be better, or, you know, things would just calm down. And I know for a fact inside my being that my diagnosis was directly linked to that whole unhealthy mental trauma that I was in every day. It's a real thing, you know, we're whole beings. We have bodies, we have minds, and we've got our souls. And they're all connected. For sure. So Danielle, welcome. I don't know, I'm in a coffee shop and sometimes it's loud, so I'm kind of muting and unmuting so that you guys can actually hear each other. What's going on with you, Danielle? How are things going with your studies? Any ahas?
Hi. Things are going okay. I'm definitely starting to get more into studying. I feel like I really struggled the first few weeks. My kids go to school tomorrow, and this is the first time I will be without a kid at home for 16 years. I can't even believe it. Like I'm happy, but I'm also like, oh my God, like who am I? Who actually am I right now without a kid like right at my hip? So my daughter goes to kindergarten, and I feel like I'm worried that I mean, it's here anyway, but I've been like pushing it off, like, oh, when she goes to school, you know, then I'm gonna really dive in and do my things. But it's actually tomorrow. So I'm not gonna try to think about that so much, if I'm doing that or not, because it's here. So I'm gonna have like, you know, 6, almost 7 hours for myself. And I really plan on diving into all the things that I want to do. I feel like I'm struggling a little bit because I had a lot of things that I wanted to do. Like I had 3 MLM companies kind of merged into one page. And then I'm a photographer, and then I want to teach photography. And what Julie said last week now about really picking one thing makes a lot of sense to me, but I'm struggling with what it is that I want to pick because I love some of the MLM products that I feel like I love them. But I don't want to give up being a photographer. I do really want to teach it. So I feel like I don't really know what I'm going to do starting tomorrow, like what I should really focus on. And I don't know that anyone else can help me figure that out but me. So that's kind of where I am right now. I feel like I really need to make a big decision and really dive into one of these things hard. I feel like it's probably going to be photography, but I'm so sad to give up some of my other things. You know, I don't know if anyone else had kind of gone through that where like you had to push something aside that you really loved. I'm not making any money from it either, so it's not so hard to let it go. It's just that I really like it and it has, you know, it has the potential. So that's where I am.
Well, Lauren shared at the beginning before you got here that she's in mourning right now because of Julie's post from last week about the same topics of narrowing down and, you know, not dabbling in more than one kind of thing. So you're not alone. And as we were listening to you, I don't know if you gals agree, but you could tell that the photography was what you need to pursue. Like you could just kind of tell just as you were talking that that was what's most important to you.
Yeah, I think I do. I almost know that you're right. It's, you know, it's just that little bit of sadness. I'm so sorry I missed the whole first half hour. I had it on and then I got lost in what I was doing. So I'm sorry that I missed that, but it makes me feel better that I'm not alone because, you know, it is a little bit sad. So I know that she said you could add it back once you're doing really well. So I'm kind of keeping that over here, you know. But yeah, it'll be okay. And I do think I need to pick one thing. I feel like I'm very scattered, you know, just in general in life, I'm very scattered. I talked a lot about like moving and having peace in my house with my new living situation, which is not with my kid's dad. But I also am realizing that I'm a very like chaotic person myself. So I don't know if that's learned, if it's in my DNA, but I don't even mind so much the chaos. I just need to like be able to focus. So that, yeah, I'm sure that it will be photography, which is actually what I got lost in when I realized it was already 12:30. So thank you. Thanks for kind of supporting that. I appreciate it.
Okay, so I was reading, if you guys haven't purchased Psycho-Cybernetics, like I'm only one chapter in and I'm like, out of all the books, you know, like Julie says, there's some that are going to resonate with you more. Oh my, it is gold. It is so gold. And it just reaffirms everything that Bob's saying, but just in a different voice, you know. Love, love, love it. But I was thinking about one of the things, I can't remember the quote exactly, but it was like, if you have a negative perception, or if you have a negative view of yourself, then you're going to get negative results. And if you have a limited view of yourself, you're going to get limited results. And that was like in my face this morning. And I was like, because in my journey, I don't know how you guys feel, but like anniversaries, like the end of September was when I joined Ignite You. And so I'm like, you know, big reflection, like what have I learned this whole year? And like, did I accomplish anything? Like, seriously, you know, I've learned a lot about me, maybe, but like, where am I in my business? And have I done everything that I said I was going to do when I joined? Because I joined because I wanted to grow my business, right? So I've been thinking about that. And when I joined, my goal, I mean, seriously, the reason I joined wasn't for this mindset stuff, you know, like she was talking about it, but it wasn't like my draw. My big reason for joining was to figure out Instagram, how to market on Instagram, how to like conquer indirect sales, not having to do in-home parties, not having to do like parties at all if I don't want to, you know, like I want to head into retirement and have a social media presence that doesn't require me to leave my house. So that's like, that was my heart. Like, that was like, okay, I'm going to conquer this. Instagram, put it up. I'm going to do this. So I had that, right? But I did it for a while. It was like that alignment. I just could not get in alignment with how to show up on Instagram. And that was because I had all these paradigms of, well, you know, you're trying to please this person. Am I showing up really as my authentic self, or am I just putting on my game face because that's what threes do? You know, the whole thing. So I feel like I've gone through this journey of uncovering like the ugly paradigms. And now I'm like, okay, so have I done what I said I wanted to do since I joined Ignite You? And that was to grow my business on Instagram and LinkedIn and all of the things. And I really haven't. So I don't know why. I guess what my aha this week was I've gone through the muck. You know, I've pulled out some huge weeds and had to look at them and go, oh yeah, that is really me. Like, okay, but that doesn't have to define my future. So my big like scary is that I think like social marketing is not my thing. Like, I don't like to create images and videos, and I mean, I'll do it, but it's not like I want to spend my time with people. I want to spend my time with coaching. I want to spend my time attracting the people and then having conversations with them. I don't want to like make social media images, like, and you can spend a ton of time doing that. So full circle, I am feeling very drawn to hiring a marketing person, you know, or an agency or whatever. And that's scary because like, yeah, I'm making money, but like we also have 4 kids at home that are teenagers in college and all the things. So it's not like I have, you know, thousands of dollars. Oh yeah, I'll just hire a marketing agency. But when I had that thought, like, okay, like, get in alignment, girl, and figure this out, because this is the piece. This is what you should have done, but your brain and your heart and your mindset and your paradigms, I would have never thought that a year ago that was, but now I'm like, yeah, this is what I need to do. But I'm scared to death. I'm scared and excited all at the same time, because I'm like, I don't have this money. Like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right. You know, I'm gonna do it like all in. I'm not gonna pay for some, you know, person that's just figuring out how to do it. I want to go with all of it. So, but my aha, here's my aha, was that the minute I decided that in my mind, I have to decide that in my physical being, you know, in a couple of weeks kind of thing. But as soon as I decided that, it was like, it took me back to April. And April was where I was in this, like, oh my gosh, all these things, my big vision, I was writing books, and I was, you know, like, I had all these things coming at me because I was on that high vibration. I was in a place of receiving, and then I got in the muck of paradigms, and I've been in the muck of paradigms for about 2 months, honestly, like ever since lesson 2. It's like, wow. And I feel like I have the feeling that I had when I thought, I'm going to hire a marketing agency and I'm going to level up. I want to double my income. And the only way, I need to start thinking like I'm already at 200,000, 300,000, and I need to make decisions as if I'm already there, because that's how I'm going to attract. I had all of that happen in the last 2 days, and I'm scared crazy, but I feel like I am totally at the energy that I was back in April. So I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but that's what I'm resonating right now.
Lisa, I mean, this is you, it's kind of like you are in the front car of the roller coaster right at the top. That's what this energy feels like. And it feels absolutely right to bring that marketing company in, because otherwise you would be pouring yourself into something and taking yourself down a rabbit hole that you don't belong. That's not your strength. And the minute you started talking about it, I was like, oh my God, yes, she needs a marketing company. It just kept going through me, like, she needs a marketing company. And it's absolutely right for you. That's what's coming through. It's just like, I can feel it in you that, well, yeah, duh. It's kind of one of these, duh. Of course, that's what is the next step for me. And it really shows, whatever marketing company you pick, it's really showing your leadership. It's really showing that shift of your paradigm, because when you finally make that decision, you have changed your paradigm. You've changed it. You're seeing, just like Julie's been talking like the last week. She said, well, what would she do? What would she do? You know, what would the CEO be doing? And you're like, bing, it's so right for you. And the timing is like perfect. The timing, I keep getting that too. It's like, oh, the timing for this is like spot on for you. Like, if you didn't do this, it would be more harmful to your bottom line than if you did do this. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. And my fear creeps in because my husband is more of the money control freak. I love him to pieces, don't get me wrong, but like, you know, he's like, well, and then September, no, August, company-wide, I don't know, most truck sales, school, you know, like it was a low month for me. And usually, you know, I take all my business expenses and then I have, you know, oh, I can put X amount in savings, or we can do, oh, let's, you know, I had zero extra this month. So my fear factor is like I can't do that. Like I can't spend more. I don't even have it, you know, I don't even have an extra anything right now. But that's where I'm going. It's clicking, the decisions and that whole energy business about, like, I could not believe it. I sat down in my quiet time space down in the basement, and it was like I totally felt different once that idea hit my head. I was like, okay.
I have to share this with you because I'm reading your energy, but I'm also studying your body language. And so you were saying, so, you know, August was this, and you were going down into like this little dark hole. And then you started saying, but then, and you started looking up and your hands actually did this. And you just don't fit down there anymore. You just don't fit. You can try to go in there, but you're going to go in and go, oh my God, this is so tight in here that I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe. I don't have a pulse down here. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. Yeah. And you analyzing that brings back one vision that my spiritual mom, the gal that was influential in leading me into a relationship with the Lord. And this was pre-cancer, I want to say, because either that or right after, I don't remember. But she had this vision of me cowering in the corner, like cowering in the corner. And she said, Lisa, that's what you look like right now. And God can't use you when you're over there in the corner cowering. Stand up, stand up.
Yeah.
And I come back to that vision so often. That's what I did post cancer in my relationships. Like I stood up for myself. I stood up in my verbals. I stood up, and so that's resonating with me.
Yeah, and that's what I just saw, with you like cowering down here. And like I said, you couldn't breathe. It was dark. I was like, this just isn't me. I'm going to share something. I'm going to post about this, but I haven't gained the courage yet. But I'm going to share this, that I got a message a little over a week ago, a God message. I get God messages, and they're pretty powerful. And the message was kind of whooping me upside the head. And it was, I didn't give you this gift to play small. In fact, it's not about you at all. I was like, I get it. It wasn't mean. It wasn't a mean God voice. But when those direct God messages come through, I know. I mean, like when my son was 4 months old and I'm just standing there rocking him in the kitchen, and my God message was, your son will be a man of God. And I was like, okay. And then his junior year of college, mom, God has called me to serve. And now he's a pastor. And this 10-year-old came to me, same kid, Mommy, I do not believe in God, and I do not want to go to church. And all I could think about was, oh, the 4-month-old kid, baby, my precious. And I had to think about that. It was like, okay, God gave me this baby. He brought this person to me to not control him. And that walk with God is such a personal relationship, right? And I don't know why I'm feeling compelled to share this story, but I get messages like that. And they'll show up years later, right? And so the power of that message when it came through, and it's very necessary for you to hear this too. We weren't given our gifts, like your gift to help other people in a big way, and my gift to help other people with what comes through me to share and what I do. That was really powerful. I didn't give you this gift to play small. I didn't give you this gift to play small, and it's not about you. It's like, that's pretty humbling. And I think when we start going into that fear place, like I was seeing you at the top of the roller coaster ride, there's actually, even though there's fear, it's exciting fear. It's not, oh my God, my life is going to fall apart. You're in a fear of excitement fear. It's like, I'm getting ready to go down this thing and woohoo. That's what I'm picking up around you.
Totally agree. And that's what I realized about myself is when I'm at a place of taking risks, when I am outside of my comfort zone, that's where I thrive. When I am sitting there in my comfort muck, like it's just, I don't do anything. Like I just feel sorry for myself, if that. But when I am actually, and it's got to be how I'm wired, like that personality of kind of like wanting the thrill, kind of like that feeds me. Like, it scares me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm like scared to think about spending that much money on this, but I know that if I want to think like I'm making double of what I'm making right now, have to do it. Have to do it.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not going to tell my husband. I joined Ignite You. I didn't tell him what it cost either. And like, you know, and I'm thinking, this is like peanuts. Like when I was so scared to join Ignite You, and it was like, honey, I want to spend this much. You know, what do you think? And I didn't ask him. I just did it. I'm like, you know what? It'll happen. And now I'm like, oh, it's like humongous compared to that little investment.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like you really stepping into your business, and your business in your line of business, your business is you. Your business is you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, you wouldn't spend your time mowing the lawn. You know, that's not, you're not going to do the $10 an hour jobs if you're the CEO, and that person that you are, that version of yourself is not going to be doing those. I'm going to say menial to downplay it, because that's what's going to grow your business. They're necessary, but they're not necessary for you to do them. You can delegate those things, so it frees you up to do the things that are your purpose, to be with the people and not the computer.
Totally agree. Thank you, ladies. Scary, but I'm like, you know what? And I've been, the other thing is like my old paradigm is like, I need confirmation. I need someone to tell me that this is the right decision. But I'm like, you know what? I've already made the decision in my heart. The decision's been made. Now I'm just looking for confirmation. So thanks for confirming my decision. Which is different than going to you to see if I should decide to do this. Totally different. Well, yay. Anything else?
I'm excited for you, Lisa. I'm super excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I am too. I'm scared, but this is where I go. So
yeah, and Julie's really kind of holding our feet to the mat, and this thing coming up on Friday, it's like, okay, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know, and it was confirmed this morning as I'm reading the psycho-cybernetics, you know.
Yeah.
What does this say? The limited view of yourself will give you your limited results. And I'm like, I am getting limited results. Like, I haven't grown, you know, I'm not flying off the charts like I want to be. And I'm like, okay, I'm
who you are. It's not like what you want to be. You already are her. I feel that. You are already her.
Thank you.
The rest of you is just catching up to her.
Thank you. This is so exciting. Oh my golly gosh. Don't forget to put your hands up and the roller coaster starts going down. That's right. It will be exactly that, for sure. Well, this has been a joy and a delight as always. I know that you guys, we love each other. We're here for each other, and you know, our chat groups. I mean, what you guys share, it's just precious. It's just precious. So continue to reach out and share. And thank you so much for letting me be a part of your journey and journeying with me. So